Hey everyone, Lacey with Synergy here. We're going to be going over one of our final practice logger workflows in this video, and that's going to be simulation game. So with simulation game, the format is going to look very similar to what you're familiar with Team Logger if you've used it for a fall ball game or an inter-squad scrimmage before. But what we're doing is giving you a lot more flexibility. So if you want to utilize this now to just do pitchers versus hitters, where pitchers are all on one side, hitters on the other, we can make that happen. If you want to put one pitcher on both teams, that's also an option. And we can just really be flexible when it comes to base running situations and anything like that. So what I'll do is I'll open up the screen and I'll show you what we're working with. As usual, we're going to start in our practice middle section here, and we're going to add a practice. For this one, I'm going to select simulation game. From here, I'll go ahead and get my league set up, my home and away team. And we haven't been able to do this previously, but now I can select the away team and the home team as both the same options. So you'll see that no matter which one I click to, I'm going to have all of my players populate in the side here, which you couldn't do previously, but makes it a lot easier now that you don't have to come up with multiple names for players, multiple names for teams. So now you won't need the management tab quite as much. So what I'm going to do for this first scenario is really make it look like we're doing pitchers versus hitters, where we're just going to have the pitchers all on one side and then the hitters on the other. So I'm going to put the hitters on the away team. So I'm going to go ahead and just select a few of them. This time I'm not even going to put a full lineup. I am going to select one pitcher. This won't matter, and I'll show you why once we get into the log screen, but I do want someone selected. Even if I don't plan on having them throw, that's okay. Eventually, we'll also be able to change this person's name to coach or machine if you would like to do that within the logger. But in this scenario, I'm just going to put in that one pitcher, and I'm just going to remove my final 3 positions on the hitting lineup so that I don't need them anymore. Now I'm going to go to my home team, and I will select all my pitchers on the side. And then same thing, I'm going to get rid of any slots that I don't need. So we're all set here. I have my 4 pitchers that I can alternate between. And then over here, I have all of my hitters that are going to be hitting for the day. You can also make this roster really big if your whole team is hitting that day. You can add everyone by adding this plus button all the way until the number of hitters that you have is met. Like I said, right now, I'm only going to do a couple. From here, I'm going to press apply. You are going to still have those little reminders that you're missing positions, but that's okay. It's just that last second reminder to say, all right, hey, if you want to make any changes, go ahead and do it now. So I'm back to my game screen now, and I want to go to log at the top right. Same thing, you're just going to get that little reminder that, hey, you're missing a couple things. Don't worry, as long as you're in simulation game, that's going to be completely fine. So I'm going to show you this without the video just to show you the capabilities of what we can do. The first thing I want to go over is your ability to now add ghost runners if you're doing hitting situations where you actually want to see the data of how your hitters do with runners on first and second, but you don't have any actual runners on base. So what I'm going to do to make that happen is go over to this button right here and press it. Now you'll see my first base, second base, third base options come up. So I can select whatever scenario I would like and put a ghost runner by clicking where I want them, pressing the plus button. And then now you'll see we have the ghost runner option on the bottom. I'm going to make sure they're selected, and then I'll click done. So I can do that at every base if I would like to. And then now I'm going to have my hitter hitting in a bases loaded situation, and I'll have my pitcher pitching in that situation too, so that now I can actually see how they're doing and filter that out when it comes to looking at this video in the client app, so that you can use it just like you would a regular game. I'm going to go ahead and apply that so that it saves. And then once we're good to go, I'm going to go back to our regular screen here by clicking that button over in the top right. And now I'm going to pretend I'm going along with the game. So just as usual, I would press the start button. Right now I'm going to stop. And then I'm just going to say these next 3 went in play, so that way now we're getting to 3 outs, so that I can show you guys now what we're able to do to continue having our logger work as just a hitter versus pitcher scenario where we don't have to make any changes on home and away team. So again, ball in play. Remember on this, as long as you put in the out, you can put in as little or as much information as you want. So you can see now we're at 2 outs. On my final one, I'll do the same thing in play, go over to my field, and I'm just going to select out on this one. Now what you're going to see, since we're at 3 outs, is this button pop up saying inning has 3 outs. Would you like to advance to the next inning? If I'm just doing pitchers versus hitters that day, I'm going to say no, because now my same pitcher was throwing as before, but I'm continuing to go down my lineup. So what that does is it allows you that flexibility of continuing to have all the pitchers throw without worrying about the pitcher showing up as a hitter or something like that. So you have that flexibility there to, 1, add the runners that we talked about, but also 2, to now just have the pitchers throw while still being able to substitute all of your other pitchers in there or whoever may be throwing. So this is going to be really nice on those days of individuals where it's just pitcher versus hitter. You don't have any defensive setup or anything like that. You just want to see the outcome. One other thing that you guys are now going to be able to do is just adjust balls and strikes however you wanted to. So previously we wanted you guys to follow along like a regular game as much as possible, but let's say in this new scenario on sim game, we want to do every count starting with 2-2. And now I want to have my start button, the pitch is being thrown, my outcomes happen. Let's say this one was a strikeout. So I'll do strike swinging, strikeout, apply. And remember, it's going to give you that same question of would you like to advance to next inning? No. But I'm still going to advance to my next hitter right here. And now my balls and strikes have still reset. So that flexibility is there. You can use this however you want to, where before it was a little bit more strict on your options. The last thing we'll go over that we can really make happen is you can select which inning you want to change to. So let's say we're in the same scenario, pitchers versus hitters, but you want to see how that specific pitcher does just in the 2nd inning, and later on you want to filter that out. We can still switch from top of 1 to top of 2, and then that's not going to change my pitcher or my hitter, but it will change my inning. So you can really use this as a coach in as many ways as you want, but the great thing is you're still going to have all of your same Synergy client app filters that you have if you were looking at one of the games that we logged. So it's going to allow you to share a lot more quality information with your players on the practice side.